let's talk about how you are going to do your Notan practice sketches. Now, there's something before you start drawing I want you to keep in mind. So I haven't done this one yet, but I did this practice one earlier, and I want to show you. So let me kind of piece this back together. Okay, so when you're drawing, you don't want to make teeny tiny little details because you are going to have to cut all of this out. And then you're going to have to cut inside whatever you drew to. We're calling that a double cut. And sometimes you're going to cut more than 2 times and you're going to have triple cuts, so that so everything, I want you to think about everything as half. So I drew half of my monster here holding the stick, and then when I cut it out, it's going to flip on this side of my page. So everything you draw, I want you to think about what it's going to look like as a whole, because you're only drawing half. And then, so I had these eyes here, and what I do, so I cut out my eyes, and I'll kind of show you a trick for that next time. And I'm gonna flip it this way. And then this little eyeball here, because this would be called a triple cut. We cut 3 times in this one spot. This eyeball here, which is really hard to get a hold of, which is why you don't want a ton of really small things, is going to go on this side right here. And once again, I'm showing you this so that you realize you don't want teeny tiny little things in your Notan, because we're not using X-Acto blades to cut it out. If we were, you could use tiny things and it would be a little bit more detailed, but we are using scissors. So here's my flame. I did a double cut, so I have my outside and then I have my inside, and it would look something like that. So I wanted to show you this before you start drawing so you can keep that in mind. Okay, so I want you to pick a theme for your Notan. Think about something that is meaningful to you, something that you like. What story do you want your art to tell? So it may seem really silly, but when I was a child, I had this reoccurring nightmare about monsters rolling me down the stairs, and the stairs were on fire. And they had these giant sticks that they used, to help them roll me down the stairs. So that is what I'm choosing to do right here. I'm doing one of my childhood nightmares. You have all these other ideas here. You can think about, what do you want to do? What do you like? This is about you. So what I'm gonna do is I have to, once again, think in half. So my drawing needs to touch all 4 sides of my little practice box. This is going to be the same size box for your final one. So on this side, I'm just gonna start sketching out a monster. And in my dream, I think as a child, I watched too much Sesame Street, because the monsters, they always kind of look like these Sesame Street characters. And I love Sesame Street, but man, it must have really scared me. So I'm just sketching. I want to make sure I get my eyeball here, my angry eyebrow. And you can have some small things like this, because I'm going to show you how you can cut that out. But if you have a ton of small stuff like that, it's just not really going to work with scissors. So think about what you can cut out with scissors. We have to have this arm here holding the stick that it's going to roll me down the stairs with. Once again, this is just kind of a rough sketch, just kind of figuring out what my ideas are. Okay, so I have my monster done. On this side, I'm gonna go over to, actually I'm gonna do kind of, so I don't run out of room, I'm gonna do the idea of stairs. They're not like accurate stairs, they're the idea of stairs, which totally works. Because it would be hard to draw detailed stairs because they're not flat. They're more like a form. And everything we're drawing right now is more of a shape. Now I'm not gonna just leave it here. I wanna have that double cut. I want something else that I have to cut out inside because that's gonna make my Notan look much more interesting. So I'm gonna add another line here so that I know I need to cut on that line as well. And I did the same thing here. I didn't just draw an outline of a monster. I added some details inside because it's gonna make it so much more interesting when I cut it out. So I have this spot here. I'm gonna leave that alone for now. I have all this bottom area here. I'm gonna leave it alone for now. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna sketch out another monster. Just kind of quick, because this is not my final one. Sometimes you change your idea halfway through and you want to do something completely different. That's totally fine too. And this one's just going to have a giant eyeball in the middle. Big scary mouths to a child. Sharp teeth, obviously. Of course, monsters are gonna have sharp teeth. And then I think this one, I'll make the arm going up too, because I wanna make sure I'm kind of filling in this space here as well. And then of course, I have to give it sticks so it can roll me down the stairs better. I don't know why they didn't use their hands, but they had sticks. Just made it more scary. Okay, so I have kind of like the idea of stairs. I have my monsters. I have all this area here. I'm gonna draw some flame type things. And I'm not just gonna leave it here. I want a double cut. Almost, if not every single one of your shapes, I mean, most of them should have a double cut, if not every single one, because trust me, it's gonna look so much better. So I would do another flame here. I kinda wanna speed this up a little bit. I'm gonna try and add some flames here, like the stairs are on fire. How am I gonna do that? Maybe like some just thin. And this one might be too hard to cut out right here, but I'm gonna draw it in just in case. And then I want you to really look at your picture and see where you can make it more balanced. So I have all this is looking pretty good, but I have this big empty area here that I want to make sure I am adding some kind of element. Okay, and then I'm gonna keep messing with it a little bit more, getting it to how I like. I'm gonna write my theme on here, and that's it.